Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a bit of Christmas crafting. This wasn't a video I was intending to make. I had all my plans for this week, but I started watching some videos around there's a series I just started of a collaboration of about, I think it's 30 odd different YouTubers, and they're each taking a letter of the alphabet and doing some Christmas crafting based around that letter, and I think they're calling it the A to Z of Christmas crafting, obviously. It's been organised by Rach and Bella Crafts, which are a YouTube channel I hadn't heard of before, but I've been, I've had a look at that video, and I've been watching some of the videos of the crafters who've been doing this A to Z, and enjoying it. And one of the videos kind of, I don't know, just inspired me to have a go at what she was making, so that's what I'm going to do today. Now, the video was by a lady called Ellie from Periwinkle Matilda, which is a lovely name for a YouTube channel, and what she's made, and I've had a go and I've made one, and I'm going to do a quick one on camera. Hopefully it won't be a long video, not like my usual. And it's a trifold. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. It's a trifold, and you open it up, and inside you've got a couple of pockets with a tag in, and then you've got a what they call it, a waterfall. I thought I'd do mine just a little bit different in that I always think well, I don't always, but I think sometimes if you've got a waterfall that flips up, it's actually quite difficult to write on because it's above where you want it to be, especially if you haven't got a lot of space. So I just thought perhaps I'd try doing it the other way around, and I've got my waterfall flipping down so that it's actually, the writing part is right in front of you, or you could stick a photograph here. There's probably a number of things you could do, but the actual bit that you want to work on is more in front of you if you flip it down. I just thought it would be something a bit different. So that's what I've made. I've flipped my waterfall down. It did stretch my brain trying to work out how to do it the other way around, the way she did it, and she does it beautifully and explains it really well. And I will link her video below so you can see what she did. Ellie did use the kit that Rach and Bella have given to all the YouTubers who are in collaboration. They've all got this kit that they created, and I have bought that kit, and I've used it just for this piece here for the background, but I printed it onto my cardstock. I started with a piece of just cream cardstock, folded it into three, but then I printed my inside on it rather than gluing the paper on, which I think is what Ellie did, just because I knew I'd get in a total mess if I did that. So I thought perhaps if I print it straight on, it would just be a little bit tidier, because I'm not very good at doing things straight, and it would probably all get, I don't know, I didn't think it would look so good. So if I did that. And I've used the Roxy Creations kit, Christmas kit number 1, I think, to do my other bits, my other panel. So this panel and the outer panel, this is all from Roxy Creations kit number 1. And I've also used that kit to cover the tags. And then the other bits, all the embellishments, are all from the Eclectic Eggplant kit that I bought this year, which I've been starting to use quite a bit, because it's a massive kit, and it's got lots of journal cards in it. So I could have used the journal cards in the Rach and Bella Crafts kit, which as I say, I do have. But I just thought for something different, and because I was mainly concentrating on using the Eclectic Eggplant kit this year, and I hadn't used any of the journal cards yet, I'd use those. That was actually the most challenging part, partly because you have to get them all exactly the same size to make it look tidy. And there's quite a lot of cards, and they're not all identical sizes, so I had to play around quite a lot to find 4 that I thought went together, and that were pretty much I could get to be the same size. So it took a little bit of fiddling around, but I got there in the end. And I made these tags. I mean, they're just simply made with a book page, and I've put on the front is the Roxy Creations kit, and on the back is just a piece of, I think it's from another Christmas kit, just a bit of coffee dyed paper, but it's printed. It's not actual coffee dyed paper, because I thought I'd just use some printed paper that I had. It was a scrap. So that's what I've done. I've just made these tags to go in here, and the journal cards go in here. So that's the basis. So I thought I'd make one on camera, but the other idea I had was to actually use scrapbooking paper to do this, because I'm sure, it is just as easy to do that, and it saves having to try and figure out, fitting on pieces of paper onto card, and I'm not very good at. They're not particularly straight. I think the fact that I've sewn it covers a multitude of sins on the edges of my paper. So I have gone ahead and done a bit of preparation just because it will speed things up. This is just a piece of Stamperia paper. I've used the full width of the 12-inch, whereas it's obviously, so it's a little bit wider than this one. Not a lot. It's about half an inch wider than the other one. And I made it a little bit taller as well, so it's actually 8 1/4 in height, whereas this one, because I had to trim it a bit because I printed on it, and it's not borderless, I had to trim it down a bit, but this is just a smidge under 8 inches, so 7 inches and 7/8 in height, this one. So it's not a lot in it, but just a little bit bigger. So this isn't going to go in a journal, of course. I think this is going to be something that'd be quite nice to use perhaps for Happy Mail, Christmas Happy Mail or something like that. And then I have just sewn around, because I haven't actually had to add any extra papers. It's beautiful as it is. I've just sewn around it and down the folds, pretty much exactly the same as on here. And this is exactly what Ellie did on hers. Did the zigzag stitch on all the folded bits and all around the outside. And then it just folds in like that, and I think that's just pretty as it is. I may put a little embellishment down here. It doesn't need much. Maybe a bit of glitter would be added, but whether I'll do that in the video, I don't know. Depends how long it takes me to put it all together. So what I have got, I've made a couple of pockets from the cut-off of this scrapbook paper. So that's the other side. You can see it's the same paper. And I was going to use another piece and decorate it, and I thought, well, actually, that looks fine as it is. Just turned it over, and that'll go on like that. So I'm just going to start by sticking those on. As I say, I'm hoping this will not be a long video. It's a little extra video that I hadn't planned on making. I've got lots of things I want to do, I had planned to do, but I couldn't help myself. I just thought this was such a lovely idea. I really wanted to have a go. So I'm just going to try and get this to stick. I did actually have to use some clips to hold the other one in place, but I used some file folder card for the pockets on the other trifold, and they were a little bit thicker than this, so they took a bit more to glue down. So I think this one's all right. Just put my glue on to make sure I'm gluing over the bit of sewing as well. I have started adding a little bit of, when I'm sewing and I've got an odd end, I do put a little bit of glue there just to stop it unravelling. And because it's arc glitter glue, it dries clear, you'd never know, but it just makes me feel it's less likely to come undone. Just trim off these little tiny bits. Right. So I won't put anything in the pockets yet while they're drying, so I can do the waterfall. Now my original idea for the waterfall was to use the journal cards, because there's a load of journal cards come with this collection, with this scrapbooking collection. I think it's called Classic Christmas. It was last year's. You can still get it. Last year's Stamperia kit for Christmas, and this is I bought it last year, and I used a bit of it, but I had quite a lot left, so I'm beginning to stick to each other where I've glued on some of the sewing. It's not completely dried clear, which is a bit annoying, but anyway. So my idea for the waterfall originally, because I thought, well, they're perfect size, will be to stack these like this and do that. But then I realised when you flip it, either if you flip it up or whichever way you do it, flip it down, you end up with your card upside down. So that idea had to go out the window. So I went back to the eclectic eggplant kit, and I thought, well, I'll use some of the some more of the journal cards from that, because as I said, there was quite a lot in there. I wanted slightly wider ones because this is a slightly bigger piece of paper, so I have found some that are a little bit wider, made them all the same size. And in fact, these I'm going to use instead of the tags to go in the pockets when it's dry. I've got a few here that I've sewn around because I'll probably use them in other occasions as well, and I just thought I'd choose a couple and put them in the pockets. I'll do that when I've done the waterfall. Right, so the first thing you have to do, and this, I did find this a little bit challenging how to make this work, but I think I've got my head around it now. Small things can really, just changing the direction that they were going to flip just challenged me a bit. So I've got this one, got this one. Now I think what I do need to do, I haven't inked around this one. I think I've inked around 2 of them. For some reason I haven't inked around all of them. So I just need to add a bit of ink to this. Also I want to add a little greeting or a word or something at the top where they're peeking out. Right, that's that one. And this one needs a little bit of ink just because it's got a few lighter coloured bits around the edges. So if you're going to flip it up, you've got the little greetings at the bottom. Because I'm flipping it down, the greetings are not visible. So I might have to put a little something. I think this one should go at the back. Makes more of a contrast with the background. And then that one. And then that one. And then him, and he doesn't need anything extra because he's already got Merry Christmas on. So I've got some words here. Just picked out a few that might go on. So this one could be perhaps peace on earth would be nice on there. It looks a very peaceful scene, doesn't it? Oh, it's almost invisible though. It's too similar in colour. What about this one? Joy to the world. That'll do. I'm going to trim it down a little, not using those. Just trim it a bit because there's only a little bit peeking out of the top of each one. Right. Glue that onto there. Just looks nice when they're all layered up to have just a little something, a word or phrase just poking out the top. Now where's my pin gone? Come on, glue. Here we are. Okay. So I don't know if any of you have been watching the this collaboration. It seems to be pretty well. It's involving people from countries all over the world, and the YouTube ladies that have organised it, Rach and Bella, they're in Wales. And they've done a great job of bringing together YouTubers of all nationalities. Some have got very big channels, some have got quite small channels. It's quite a nice bringing together of different YouTubers. I'm just trying to find a little something to pop on this one. So I don't know if I want to. Like cookies for Santa. maybe I'll just... I've got the Joy to the World already. Just trying to find something that would perhaps fit. Don't want to cover up the clock. Maybe I'll just put the Santa on the other side. Let's have a look, see how it looks. So it looks like they're waiting up for Santa, doesn't it? Got their stockings hung up. Let's try that. Right, okay, that's Clue. And the other thing I want to do is I want to round my corners at the top there as well. No, it's too far over. Nope, not liking that. Round my corner first. Make sure it fits. Didn't work. Need to put it in properly. That's better. Right, let's try that again. Let's round all the corners while I'm at it. That didn't go very well. What happened there? Kind of chomped it rather than rounding it. Don't know what went wrong there. Tidy it up. Put a bit of ink on. You never know. There we are. Okay. That one. That one. Okay. Let me bend thing go. That's it. Right. Just re-ink those corners. I've done those. Right, let's see if Santa, the cookies for Santa will fit on now. That goes there. Where'd the other bit go? What have I done with it? I'm sure you've seen it. Let's find something to go on here. I've got Peace on Earth. There's a pink dove. It's going to cover up the dove, isn't it? The dove of peace, if I put that there. Right, let's cut it down a little bit. And that go above the... Might be to just squeeze it on. constantly losing things at the moment. Completely lost the dobber that I use for this, that I had in front of me yesterday when I was middle of crafting, and it just totally disappeared. Okay, eventually I found it, but I had to get a new one out. Ah dear. Right, I think that's just going to fit on there. Come on, glue. That's why my videos seem to take so long, because I spend half my time trying to get the glue to work, I think. Right. No, that's not even straight. Goodness gracious, what's going on today? Well, right. Right to the peas on earth. Now we just need to find the rest of the cookies for Santa. I think I'll just pause the video a minute, because it probably, if I continue looking on camera, we'll be here all day. I found my cookies for Santa. It was stuck on the back of one of the cards, and I've just stuck it on like that. So I'm just going to line these up, and then we're going to start sticking them on. So I've just got some strips of paper, and they're going to be stuck at the bottom of my cards. So, whole thing came off. That's it. So just glue across half of it. I mean, this is exactly the method that Ellie used in her video, so not doing anything new here, apart from putting it at the bottom rather than at the top. Stick that on, trim it a little bit, and then I'm just going to, I think I've been watching too many Roxy Creations videos. I'm just going to snip off those corners, just because it just softens that little tiny bit. And then I'm going to ink around the paper. And I should do the same with the other three, and then I'll come back and put them together. Right, so I've just added the little strip of paper at the bottom of each journal card, and now I've just got to start sticking them down and try and make sure they stay lined up with each other. So I'm going to put that one here. I think I'll just put that one on first. So glue that down. So you glue it on halfway. The bit that's not glued onto the card, you fold it back, and that's the bit that glues onto here. Just try and make sure it's central. Just going to get my brown folder, make sure it's burnished down nicely. Then fold it back on itself. And then you've got something you can journal on. Some of these have got the design is it's actually a bit upside down, but because it's a fairly neutral design, it doesn't really matter. And then you just line that one up and glue that one on above it. Right, it's just making sure that it's in line. I think that's about right. Okay, yep, that looks okay. Fold that one back down so it doesn't look lined up now. Okay, next one. I've got some slightly different backing on some of these, but as long as it's fairly neutral, this is just some 160 GSM. I think I printed the journal cards on, and then I printed on the back of them with some neutral backing cards. Some of this, so this is tea-dyed digital on the back of that one. What's on that one? One more. That right. Let's just see if they're lining up so far. Whoa, is it going to fit on? Gosh, I hope it's not going to go off the page. No, that's going to be about right. It's just going to fit in nicely. Okay. Line that right up with that. As close as I can. Make sure it's straight. Yep. Oop. Flip, flip, flip. Right. So then we have these white bits where the back of the papers are on the back of the journal card. So I don't want that. So I'm going to use some washi tape, I think. Got my washi tapes here. Let's see if we can find one that will go quite nicely. Trying to think of which one would go colour-wise. I do like this one. This is the holly one. I used this one on the other trifold. Just thought it'd be nice to use something different, but I don't know if I can find one that will go as well. Oh, maybe that one will. Yeah, that one will work okay, I think. So I'm just going to trim it and then add some extra glue stick. You can never be too careful with washi tape, can you? As far as stickiness goes. Make sure it just covers up the white. Oh, I only just made this long enough, barely. And not that one. What did I do with it? There it is. Let's make sure I make this plenty long enough this time. Then I can just trim it off. Right. Just trim this off a little bit. Okay. Yeah, sticky bits of washi. Try and get rid of those odd bits. That one. So I don't think this is going to turn out as neat as the one that Ellie made. Hers is beautiful. Just my attempt. because it looked like a fun thing to make. And I can't resist if I see something that inspires me. I just have to go ahead and make it. Even when I've got plenty of other things I was supposed to be doing. Oh, got it too short now. Oh dear, never mind. It's only a tiny bit. Maybe I can just dab it with the... Yep, that'll do. Alright. And last one. Okay. Do the other way around. It's got an odd sticky out bit I want to get rid of. Now let's try not to trim it too short this time. That's better. All right. And it goes up like that. I feel like it needs a little something here. So let's get in some of the bits from the Stamperia paper pad. There's lots of cut-offs, what do you call them? Die cuts that you can cut apart, or cut aparts, I suppose. Use that one. That's too big. That's quite a nice one. Oh, there's a couple here. Might be quite nice just to pop. Well, that one disappears, doesn't it, behind the on the red background. That's no good. That's going to be too big. Yeah, I've got a Merry Christmas to you. What about Jolly Christmas? Just goes on there quite nicely. And I also need to do a little embellishing on the pockets. Does that go on there? What else have I got? Got another circle here. May Santa Claus have in his pack, my dear, everything you've wished for through the year. Oh, that's a shame that doesn't fit, because that's a really nice little saying to go with the front cover. It's just gonna... don't know about that. Let's see what else I've got. It's too big. Merry Christmas be yours. Don't think that's going to go on anything. Yeah, some of these are way too big. That come on here? No, it's see, that's the wrong colour again, isn't it? I need something that's going to show up. So maybe these two circles go quite nicely on there. Season of Frost and Merry Chime. Yep, I think I might just put those on there. Bit of lace, maybe. All right, so I'm back now. It's been quite a while since I was last on. So I last turned the camera on. Had a bit of a problem when I found some lace, which is good. That's what I went to look for. But while I was off camera, I thought I'd just try out the cards, the journal cards, to see which ones I wanted to put in here. And I discovered that they're too big. All of them are too big to go in the pockets, and I thought they would fit. So that was a bit of a blow, especially, you know, they're all sewn and all ready to go. And I thought that'd be just nice and easy. I'll finish it off, pop the journal cards in, away we go, we're all done. But not to be. So I had to go back to the paper pad to see what I could do with about making some tags. So I've been doing that. I've made a couple of tags from the cardstock, from the same Stampere paper pad. It's sort of so it's got a nice light side for writing on the back, and I use some of the cut aparts to embellish it, to keep it still quite flat. So they're done now. So I haven't sewn around them. I may do afterwards, but I haven't done that in between. So I've got those ready to go. Put a little bit of sari silk on the top, and they just pop in there. So I'm pleased with those. So I just thought I'd finish embellishing these pockets. So the circles I had got, that I'd already cut out, I thought they looked a little bit big. And when I went back and looked at the paper pad, I found another couple of sheets of cut aparts, and one of them has got a whole bunch of tags and a couple of smaller circles on it. So I have cut those out. So I've got this one, and I've got this one over here. So I thought the smaller circles would look actually a bit better on the pockets. So that's what I've decided to do. So I'm just going to put this bit of pretty lace on the bottom here. So I always think you can never go wrong with a little bit of lace. Let's just make sure, put it in the right place. Just get a little bit of, just a bit of glue. Pop that on there. Just hold it a moment to get it to grab. The art glitter glue is pretty good with lace, really. If it's quite thin lace, it works pretty well most of the time. I'm going to use a trick I've seen a friend of mine use, Alison from Crafty Ellie Creates. I think that's her YouTube name. She always uses her brayer to glue things down, and I thought, oh, that's a really good idea. So I'm going to try and remember to use that a bit more often. Just gets everything glued down flat. Put my little circle on. So I've got to try and keep everything that I'm using as an embellishment fairly flat as best I can. Open the brayer again. So much easier than trying to do it with my hands. Wish I'd seen that trick earlier. I think I need a little bit more under here where the lace is. Maybe I should have done Fabri-Tac, I don't know. I'm going to see if I can make it work with this. Okay, let's put the other piece of lace down. Perhaps can I find something to weigh it down with? Put that on there. And then same again across here. It's a little bit long. You just trim it off a little bit. Right. Okay. And circle on. So, nearly done. That goes, do I go that way? That go that way. I'm going to have it going that way. Right. Now a couple of last little bits I wanted to add. I felt like it needed something here. I was trying things out, I believe, when I was on camera a little earlier, and I was trying out various labels, but I thought it's just another thing in that I wanted something like a contrast of shape. So I've ended up, while I was off camera, trying out different ideas, and I've decided to put on, if I can find it, I went into my little bag of ready-made flowers, and I thought this one would go lovely, but it's much too bulky, because when obviously if you're trying to write down here, it's not going to work at all. And I nearly glued it down, and I thought that's not going to work because it's going to be too bulky. So I've made another one that's a lot flatter, so it hasn't got any kind of sequiny thing or anything in the middle, and it hasn't got as many layers. Go that way. Go that way. I might put a little glitter in the middle there later. I think I'll do it like that. And just a bit more of a contrast of shape, and I think that just finishes off that little space. It looked a little bare down there to me, but I didn't want anything else that was rectangular. So I'm just going to pop this on here. Oops. I think that just finishes off that last little bit without adding too much bulk, and it's still going to be fine to write on. Just pop that there. I've only just got 2 layers for the flower, and it's all going to be quite nice and flat, so it'll be absolutely fine to write on. And I probably will just glitter up the centre a little bit. I'll do that afterwards. I just wanted that finished off really. And then I was just thinking it looked a little bare up here, so there's lots of little tiny cutouts on this paper pad, and so I've got these holly leaves, so I thought I'd just pop those in the corner as well. Do I need to ink them? Not sure I do really. Just give it a little tiny bit. I'm just going to pop one of these in each corner, and then all I've got to do is my closure. Hopefully that won't take too long. Make sure I've got that like that in that corner, and I've got another one to pop in the other corner. Then we're nearly done. This is one of those projects that looks quite simple, but it's taken me ages to put together, but I think that's just because I just can't quite finish sometimes. I'm not very good at getting it finished and just doing it. I keep messing about and changing my mind about what I want to do and adding embellishments that probably aren't necessary, but I just have to do it. Right. Okay, so we've got that. I think that looks quite nice in the middle there. I like the red background, it just brings everything else out. Right, so we close that up. The only bit that's a little bit bulky is where the sari silk is on the top of the tags, but I'm actually going to put my closure around here so it won't affect it. I'm going to use more of the same sari silk. So I'm going to wrap it around. There's a bit of a join here, so I'm hoping I can get away with it. Maybe I'll do it from the other end, so I won't come against a join because the colour changes a bit. Use this end. It's a little bit lighter, but that doesn't matter. but then I won't have the join. At least I don't think I... Oh, no, I do have a join. Another join. Maybe I'll go back to the original piece and see if I can get away with making it... tying it with a little bow before I have to make the join. Use the join, should I say. Yep, I think I can just about get away with it, so I might just chop it there where these two different colours are sewn together. I think that would be okay. I think I should be able to make a bow with that. Where's he gone? There it is. Okay. Right. I will glue it down at the back. It's only just long enough. But I think so that piece isn't going to be any better, I don't think. Let's see if it's the same length. Yeah. Yep. So that'll be alright. For some reason the green one is in quite a few different colours joined together, whereas the red one is a fairly consistent colour all the way through. Okay, so I'm going to flatten it out a bit. Use the Fabri-Tac. Where am I doing it? Down here. Okay, plenty of glue. I want it to be flat. Yep, that looks like about the right place. Check I've got it about. Oh no, I need to put it along a little way, this bit. Whoa. And quite got it right in the middle. Right. Tie a little bow. There we are, that'll be fine. There we go. It is done. Oops. So thank you for joining me. It's taken longer than I'd hoped, but yeah, these things happen. Especially when I'm crafting. Always things take longer than I expect. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different thing that I've been doing today. And do join me again soon. Bye for now.